Hi, my name is Riley Mann, and today we're going to talk about some sleep deprivation. So as a society, there needs to be a major discussion regarding sleep deprivation, so much so that a third of people suffer from inadequate sleep. So to every story, there's always two sides, and this one is no exception. One side we have those who like to stay up late, and those who like to go to bed really early and wake up early. So hopefully, throughout this video, we can find some common ground. You know, some people like to stay up at night and have fun with their friends. You know what? That's okay. You can go and party, hang out with your friends, go into the city, do whatever you want. And once you're done for the night, you can go home and just sleep all night long and wake up the next morning and stay in bed all day long. Sounds pretty fun, right? You know, some people lose sleep over their jobs, actually. But there's nothing they can do about it, is there? Because they just get so bombarded with all that work that they have to do that they have to take time out of their sleep schedule to do the extra work. So therefore, they become sleep deprived every single day because they have way too much work and not enough time to complete that during the day. Schooling can be a detriment to college students' sleep schedule, but more specifically those that are medical students. Being in the medical field, you need to produce a high quality product, but with the lack of sleep, that's just something you can't do. With that lack of sleep, they're going to have a loss of productivity, precision, and their best quality work will be lost, which obviously heavily clashes with the high demanding jobs such as those in the medical field. And with all that lack of sleep, what are they supposed to do after that? They can't get more sleep if they have to take time out of their sleep schedule to do the schoolwork. What are they supposed to do? So whenever somebody stays up late, it heavily disrupts their circadian clock. So that's important because whenever you stay up late, that obviously messes up your circadian clock, but that will have disruptions throughout your day, meaning there will be just random times where you feel very sleepy and then random times where you feel awake. So if you're a normal person, or if you're a person who has a normal circadian clock where it works at nighttime and at daytime you should be awake, you're fine. You'll have normal times of wakefulness and sleepiness. But if you're somebody who goes to bed late and just has an inconsistent sleep pattern, that means that throughout the day you're going to have incredible urges to just go to sleep on a whim just like that. With going to bed late, there are many health risks, such as heart disease, diabetes, obesity, etc. And that's just because at nighttime, people tend to get snackier. When they get snackier, they're going to gain some weight.
So what I looked at is Martin Luther King Jr. Park. So that set off a firestorm on social media.
You need sleep, sleep. You need sleep all the time. You need sleep, sleep. For some peace of mind. You need sleep, sleep. Right at night time. And then you wake up feeling alright. You know, there are some people who like to go to bed early and to wake up early. That's not inherently a bad thing to do. I mean, if you go to bed early and wake up early, that means whenever you wake up, you'll feel more refreshed. They can get things accomplished that they wouldn't otherwise get accomplished. A whole multitude of things. However, with all those good things in mind, they do have some problems in the fact that they think that there are some people who think that those who stay up later are just lazy people, which is not really the case. It's only a small fraction of people, but that's just not the case. Not all people who go to bed later are lazy. The problem with those who like to go to sleep early and wake up early is the fact that they think anybody who likes to go to bed late is just a lazy person, which just isn't true. Because we know that teenagers have later circadian clocks than adults. So that means that whenever adults feel sleepy, teenagers are wide awake and they have a couple more hours until they start to get sleepy too. Because they go to sleep later than most adults and they wake up much later than most adults. So we've talked about all the problems, but we haven't really discussed the solutions, have we? So what are some solutions? Well, I think one could be we can improve our sleep discipline. So what does that look like in action? Well, regarding parents with teenagers, we can do a multiple amount of things with those. So firstly, parents can make the teenagers' bedtimes later. And I know that sounds counterproductive, but the reasoning is because teenagers have a later circadian clock than what adults do, meaning they get sleepy at later times, whereas us adults don't get as sleepy as late, and they will want to sleep later than we do. Another thing we can do is we can have a bedtime for our blue light screens, like TV, phone, anything like that. We have a bedtime for that because that stops melatonin production in our brain. Another thing we can do is we can have a consistent nightly schedule that will activate our brain and say, hey, it's time to go to bed. Doing these things in this pattern will make us sleepy because we know we're about to go to bed after doing these things. And also, going to bed at the same exact time every single night will help that as well. So what are other things we can do? Well, as we discussed, we can increase our sleep discipline. But how exactly do we do that? Well, we can take some points that we learned earlier about parents and teenagers and apply them to this situation. So, for example, consistent bedtime, consistent night schedule, putting your blue light screens away at nighttime. But there's some other things we can do to increase discipline as a whole. And those things can be make a consistent schedule day by day, which honestly, you could make a nightly schedule. That could be a good way to do the discipline. Another thing to do could be to make your bed every single morning. That's a small thing you can do every single day that will cause your body to force yourself to do something you don't necessarily want to do, because a lot of people don't want to make their beds, but it's just an easy thing to do, and it just has your mind that, hey, I have a job to do, and if I do this job, then I'm good to go. Other things you can do would be working out. That will really increase your discipline because you have to stick with it no matter how hard it gets, and just multiple other things you can do to increase your discipline. And once you do all this stuff, you should be able to feel refreshed and just feel like you should be able to dance and jump around. You need some sleep, whoa, baby. It's right at night time.